Hello guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel Math Start How To. Today we will learn to solve quadratic equation by using factorization. In the same channel you can find other videos where we solve quadratic equation by using other methods. One of the popular method is using formula, for which I have made a video. The link to the video can be found in the description below. The second method, the second easier, I guess. Some people find it easier, some people find it difficult, but in my preference, the second easier way to solve any quadratic equation is by using factorization. So we will use this same quadratic equation that we have used for other methods in other videos, and we will solve by using factorization. And I'm using the same equation so that we know that the answer is correct. The answer we get or the validity of the answer we get can be corrected, because in our other videos also we have solved this equation, so we are supposed to get the same answer. Also, just for like quick reference, the answers that we have found in other videos are 25 and 9. We used other methods to solve quadratic equation in those videos. Here we will do factorization. Again, a quick recap. What is an equation? Why, when it is called quadratic, and what is the meaning of solving it? So an equation is a mathematical expression which have this equality sign. So whenever you see this equality sign, it is an equation. Quadratic, it becomes quadratic when the largest power of the variable is 2. So in this case, the variable is y square y, and here is no y, means it is y raised to the power 0. Here you cannot see any exponent of y, so you can consider the exponent to be 1. And among 2, 1, and 0, 2 is the largest. So this equation is called quadratic. It is of degree 2, so any equation with degree 2 or any polynomial with degree 2 can be called a quadratic equation or a quadratic polynomial. Now we want to know, what do we mean by solving? So solving means we want to find the value of y. So what value of y? Like, should I put y as 1 and will I get this equality like 0 on both sides? Or can I put y as 2 and I would get like 0 on both sides, because the right side is 0? Do I get 0 on the left side? That's what solving means. Finding the value of the variable which satisfies the equation. Like I told you before, I have already solved this equation in other videos, and we know that the answers are 25 and 9. That means if you put y as 25 and then simplify this, you will get 0 equals 0, or like you will get the same value on both sides. If you put 9 also, you will get the same thing. So that's how you check your answer. All right, that was the background information. Now let's learn how to solve this equation by using factorization. Now, there are different ways to factorize. For an idea on how to factorize things, look at my other videos. Um, I have not made those videos yet, so I'll not put any link on the description for factorization. But once I put, or once I make the videos, I will edit the description and put the links there. So just wait for the factorization videos. Uh, like I told you, there are different ways to factorize. One of the interesting way to factorize is factorizing a trinomial when we have three terms, or when we have expression like this, where like the first term has second degree, the second term is a linear with y 1 degree, and the third term is a constant thing. In this case, we use a popular method called middle term breaking. This name is actually literal name that actually describes the process. So in this equation, the middle term, like this is the first term, this is the last term, and this is the middle term. So what we will do is we will break down this middle term, negative 34y. So middle term is negative 34y. We will break it into two terms. Now when we break it, we have to like it has to, the two parts has to satisfy a very specific rule. The rule is the product of the two parts should be positive 225. And when we add them or subtract them, I guess it should be addition. So when we add them, it should be negative 34y. So product should be positive 225. Addition should be negative 34. And the two numbers are, we can do it like negative 25y, negative 9y. So here I'm not telling you how I got these two numbers. Why isn't it like 33 plus 1 or okay, negative 33y? Let me make it more clear. Why is it not negative 30y, 33y, negative 1y? Because adding these two will also give us negative 34y. Or why is it not 225y, 225 times 1? Because multiplying this gives us 225. Why? Like the two rules that this breaking has to satisfy is the product of the numbers. Let's say, let's forget this variable for a moment. If you ignore this y, right? So what should happen is, if you just look at the number negative 34, the product, when you break that negative 34 into two numbers, the addition should be negative 34. The addition should be equal to this number, and the product should be equal to 225, positive 225. So if you multiply negative 25 with negative 9, you will get a positive 225. However, if you use negative 33 and negative 1, the addition is negative 34. Fine, addition is fine. But if you multiply it, the product is not 225. If you multiply these two things, the product is going to be positive 33. So it has to satisfy both. Now in another case, if you take 225 and 1, like, or 225 plus 1, the product is definitely 225 times 1 is definitely a 225, but the sum is not negative 34. The sum is 226. So when we do the midterm breaking, we have to be very careful on what two factors we break the middle term into. So in this case, our breakage is into y square minus 25y minus 9y plus 225 equals 0. So once we do the midterm breaking, what we do is we pair the first two, we pair the last two, and then we find a common factor among those two. So for y square minus 25, you can see y is common. You can factor out a y, and you will be left with y minus 25. And then between the last two terms, negative 9y plus 225, you can factor out a 9, and you will be left with y. And be careful, this plus now becomes minus because you are factoring out a negative sign also. Okay, so this is y minus 25 equals 0. Now what we see is that this is a product of two terms y and y minus 25. This is a product of two terms 9 and y minus 25. So previously we had four terms and we factored from the first two terms and the last two terms. Now we have only two terms. The first term is y times y minus 25, and the second term is 9 times y minus 25. So from these two terms, you can factor out y minus 25, because here is also y minus 25, here is also y minus 25. And you will be left with, in this term, y minus 25 is factored. So you are left with y minus, in this term, y minus, uh, yeah, in this term, y minus 25 is already factored. I'm sorry about that sound that I make, because I was like, I thought I did something wrong. So if you factor y minus 25, you'll be left with y minus 9, and that is equal to 0. So once we have this, let me clear a little bit area. We don't need these things. Let's clear some part up so that I don't have to go to a new page. I can actually complete the solution right here. Go away. Okay. All right. So we have y minus 25 parenthesis y minus 9 equals 0. Now there is something called zero product rule in math that tells us that if the product of two things is a 0, one of them must be equal to 0. At least one of them should be 0. Otherwise, there is no way that you will get product to be 0. Let's say if you get 2 times something is 0, then the other term must be 0 to get a 0. So according to zero product rule, either y minus 25 is equal to 0 or y minus 9 is equal to 0. So you can do either or. So now either gives either y minus 25 is equal to 0 Now, if you use a little bit idea from linear equation, solving linear equation, we had 25 on both sides, and that gives us y equals 25. Either this first part y minus 25 equal to 0, or this second part y minus 9 has to be equal to 0. One of them must be equal to 0. Again, here you add a 9, some linear equation solving technique, and you get y is equal to 9. So what do we get? We get the two values of y as 25 or 9, or you can say and 9. And this is the same answer as we had got in the previous videos by using other method. So that means we did it correctly. And tada, this is how you solve quadratic equation by using factorization. I hope you learned something from this video. I'll make more videos about solving quadratic equation, and then it will be in this channel. Please have a look at those videos as well if you want to learn other methods. And if you have enjoyed this video, do comment. If you like this video, do subscribe, share it with your friends. Do anything, just do something. If you like it, just do something. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I'll see you in another video.